What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. So I'm back with my prediction for Juan Manuel Marquez and Mike Alvarado. Now I got a couple predictions that I need to be making going forward, and this one is one of the easier ones. And it's coming up this Saturday, so I'm gonna get this knocked out and tell you my thoughts. Um, Juan Manuel Marquez, what can I say? Living legend. He's been a pro since the early '90s. He is one fight removed from a hell of a career defining win. That was when he knocked out Pacquiao, his age old nemesis. And I have him winning this fight. I think it'll be by late stoppage. Now, when they first announced this fight, I wasn't really thrilled. I was like, man, the winner gets Pacquiao or Bradley, two winner. It just didn't really do it for me. I would have much rather have seen Marquez versus Ruslan Provatnikov, the guy who beat the guy that Marquez is currently fighting, Mike Alvarado. Um, the reason I have Marquez winning is because, for one, you got to look at the factors and put all the variables in a line and determine some things. One, Mike Alvarado, he's fairly young, but at the same time, he's boxing old. The reason I say that is because he's been in some brutal wars. It looked like he was on his way to lose the Bradis Prescott fight, and Bradis Prescott is a big puncher, one who leveled Amir Khan, and he turned that fight around, but it was still a war. I think his lip was cut the fuck up, and he had two grueling fights. One he was stopped in against Brandon Rios. The first one was like just back and forth, fight of the year type stuff. And both of the fights were wars. He was really hurt bad. I think in the second round of the rematch, Rio surprised him with like a kind of like a pop up jab, and you could see his legs. It fucked his legs up. So both of those fights were wars to me. Then the Ruslan Provatnikov, he started off good. He was boxing good. Ruslan weathered the storm and then made it his type of fight, and just destroyed him in the later rounds. He had to quit on the stool. He was fatigued. He just didn't have anything left. So that's one factor. Another thing is Alvarado started boxing at a late age, and unless your name is like Sergio Martinez, not many people can do that and be successful, especially after so many wars. There's just certain fundamentals, certain things. And for Marquez and Nacho Beristain, someone who I really respect as a trainer, I think they're going to be able to get it done, formulate a game plan based on the wars that we've seen Alvarado win, and I just see Marquez winning it. I'm not going to say dominant because even though based on skill set and experience and stuff, I want to say Marquez will be dominant. The only reason I'm not going to say it's going to be a domination is because Alvarado looks a lot bigger than Marquez. He is younger. Marquez is 40 or 40 plus or whatever age he is. And when is the last time, out of all the great fights Marquez has given us, when is the last time he's just dominated? He's had impressive wins like Katsidas, Juan Diaz, but a lot of his fights aren't. They're competitive, even if he knocks the person out. His fight, the one right before he fought Pacquiao, I think the third time, I forgot dude's name off the top of my head. If you guys remember, fill it out in the comments. He knocked out the dude, Ramos or whoever. But Marquez, just in general, his fights with Pacquiao were all close. All of his fights have been, even if, like I said, even if he's knocked them out, he hasn't really dominated. And by dominate, I mean, if you look at how Floyd Mayweather dominated Marquez, or how Floyd Mayweather dominated Canelo, or a fighter like that, or how Pacquiao dominated Rios. And by dominate, I mean he didn't allow the person to win really one or two rounds. You know what I mean? It was just a lopsided whitewash. So I don't really see that with Marquez. So I'm not going to say he's going to dominate Alvarado, but I do see him winning. I do see him looking a lot better than he looked in the Timothy Bradley fight. You got to get credit where credit's due. And I think a lot of people underestimate Bradley. What he doesn't have in pure punching power, he makes up for it in other areas. He's very athletic. He stays disciplined and stays in shape. Bradley has good movement. Bradley has the ability to give you different looks. Bradley can bang a bit, even though he doesn't have that much power. I've seen him do it. He has good boxing skills and just overall that finesse that allows him to compete at a world class level. Like a lot of people, you're like, oh, punching power, and that's all you care about. Like Gennady Golovkin, that's cool. Punching power is great. It's a great thing to have in your arsenal. However, punching power is not the end all be all. And if it was, you wouldn't see other great fighters like Pernell Whitaker, Timothy Bradley, Paulie Malignaggi. Guys like that would be unheard of because they didn't have the most pop to their punches. So I think Bradley made Marquez look that way. So even though it looked pretty easy, in my opinion, some people were saying it was a robbery. Marquez and Nacho were crying robbery. I just don't see it. I think it was competitive, but I think Bradley made Marquez look every bit of his age. And I'm a huge Marquez fan. If you go through my old videos, you'll see that. So I just don't think Mike Alvarado is Bradley in terms of anything like their style. I think Bradley has good footwork, and I think Mike Alvarado's footwork looks sloppy. And I'm not anti-Mike Alvarado. I enjoy his fights as well. Wish him to the best, but just based on the factors that I said, I don't see him winning this fight. And I think ultimately, Top Rank, Bob Arum, they knew that he doesn't have much of a shot to win and pull the upset. So they use this as a springboard, a launching pad to make Marquez versus a rematch with either Pacquiao or Bradley had he won. But Pacquiao obviously won the second fight and the first one, in my opinion. So for that reason, I think they put him in a position a lot safer, a lot easier for a 40-year-old to handle like Marquez, instead of putting him in there with someone like Ruslan or Sean Porter. And a lot of you guys are like, what do you mean Sean Porter? Sean Porter is not signed with Golden Boy, FYI. He has a working relationship with Golden Boy, but he can also work with Top Rank. So again, I just didn't see him putting him in such a risky fight. So they gave something they could sell to the public, Mike Alvarado, someone who has heart, someone comes to bring it, someone who's bigger than Marquez, younger than Marquez, and they served that on a platter. So I'm going to watch the fight. I'm a boxing fan, so I will watch it. And you never know. Mike Alvarado, like I said, he's a lot bigger than Marquez. He's younger. So his career is basically hanging on by a thread. If he loses this, I don't even know how many people want to see Brandon Rios and Mike Alvarado Part 3. So Mike Alvarado really desperately needs this win to stay relevant, stay in talks. And if he loses, then it's going to be slim pickings for him. He's going to have a hard time getting like championship level fights unless Top Rank is just so desperate because they're stable in those divisions or dwindling down that they just throw him in other fights. But we'll see. We'll see what Alvarado does, and if he proves me wrong, let me know what you guys think of Mike Alvarado versus Marquez coming up from California, my state. As always, hate, comment, or subscribe. Till next video, it's Ego signing off.